My name is Noreen. I'm an editor and author based in Cape Town, South Africa, and I'm here to answer all your publishing questions and your writing questions, and just generally offer you advice from all my experiences of more than 20 years of publishing and or writing and trying to be in this whole author thing. So anyway, short stories. We have discussed this before. You've written a short story. Now what? So that's the problem that a lot of my writers come to me like, oh no, I've written a story, I don't know what to do with it. There's a lot of places you can send short stories. There are magazines. Yes, there are still magazines out there. You can also write short stories for anthologies if you see a call for submissions, which is why it's always a good idea to follow on social media various publications and markets or editors that you know of that do submissions and do anthologies and all the rest. People like Ellen Datlow, she springs to mind, but in general, follow the publishers, follow the editors, and just generally network and get to know publishing professionals. Still stuck? There are two websites I will link in the comment. Well, I'll link in the caption. One is duotrope.com, which I do believe, look, I haven't used it in a while, that it is subscription based, but the prices are fairly reasonable if you are going to make a thing of writing regular short stories. Duotrope.com is great. The one that's free is the Submissions Grinder, which is the one I normally tell all my writers to use. It's very simple for both of them. You fill in the fields, you tell them what genre, how many words, whether you want paid or unpaid markets, and then you just go. And you'll get dozens and dozens and dozens of links, trust me. So just the method of submitting short stories. Look, short stories I've found are actually quite, if you go for the paying markets, you can make reasonable return on investment, if you want to call it that. I've often made more money selling short stories than I do selling novels. So it actually can turn out to be worth your while if you go for the pro paying markets. They are there. So pro paying, we're looking at anything from 6 to 8 cents a word, and it does tend to add up, and especially if you're South African, that sweet exchange rate is magic. So yeah, if you're writing a short story a month, you'll probably start submitting a short story a month. Most publications don't like simultaneous submissions. Just don't do it. I did it once. I ended up having to write a short story over a weekend just to make the other editor happy. Okay, that was just not cool. I was so embarrassed. So just don't do that. So my suggestion is keep a spreadsheet where you keep track of who you submitted to, what date you submitted it to, and what sort of response you had. If, for instance, you haven't heard from the person in like 6 months, 3 to 6 months, then you can probably take it for granted they're saying no. And it's really on the editor then if they are going to offer and you've already sold it elsewhere, if they haven't gotten around to it about 3 to 6 months. But generally, I play patient waiting game. I get my spreadsheet. If a short story, if I've submitted it to 10 or 12 or 15 or 20 markets and it's been a no, I put it on the shelf and I carry on submitting. But some of my friends have been writing short stories, one a month, and it is doable, which they then end up selling, and they've done pretty well and they win awards, and it's pretty awesome. So yeah, so keep writing, keep submitting. Just talking about rights, generally, just obviously if you do get a contract offered, read the wording very carefully. You don't want to give this short story in perpetuity, which means forever and ever and ever. So generally they will ask for exclusive rights for about a year or two, which is fine. And then after that, the short story, you can sell it again. And I've made good money selling reprints. And also, once you've got all your short stories over the last 10-15 years, you can collate them into an anthology, and then hey presto, you've got a collection of your short stories which you can sort of print out and sell to people or put out there. Traditionally, short story collections, single author short story collections don't really do that well, but it's nice to have, and it's a good idea. It's just, yeah, as I said, it's nice to have. It's nice to see what you've done over the years and how your writing's changed. So yeah, and just in terms of payment, I'm always very careful about markets that charge a reading fee. I have one or two exceptions, but generally money should be flowing to the author, not from the author. So if anyone wants to charge you to read for your anthology, just that's just to go there. Also, people say, oh, we'll pay you an exposure. Darling, if you get exposed, you die of cold or hunger. Just people who claim that you're going to get exposure if they publish your story for free, you know, you're going to do better just publishing the thing on your blog or putting it out on Kindle yourself, even if you only sell 1 or 2 copies, because really, why make somebody else wealthy? Or give them something that they can use to have content. Oh, fuck, I hate that word so much. Anyway, oops, swearies. Anyway, so that's just my words for today. If you've got any questions you'd like me answering, put them in the comments. But other than that, happy writing and have a grooviest weekend. Oh, and by the way, I would love it if you went and you bought some of my books. It'll just keep me all nice and happy. I've got a lot of fantasy and sci-fi stuff. Go check out the link to my Amazon author page also in the caption below. Have a great time.